Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So, the Pro Bowl, which is voted on by the fans, list is out, and the Dallas Cowboys, after last year not having nobody from the Dallas Cowboys, what?
How come I didn't know you could vote on the people?
Oh, it's all over Twitter and stuff. Okay.
I didn't know. I would have voted.
See? It's Michael's fault.
I didn't know.
Okay, so last year we had nobody, and probably rightfully so, on the Pro Bowl roster because everybody was either out or they sucked. So, I mean, everybody was hurt. Dak was hurt, Tyron Smith was hurt. Everybody was hurt. But anyway, this year we have 5 on it. Okay, so the 5 players that we have on there, of course, Micah Parsons, who pretty much has locked up the Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie Defensive Player of the Year, as well as possibly Defensive Player of the Year, being compared with, of course, Lawrence Taylor. Then you have Diggs. Of course, you couldn't leave Diggs off because Diggs has 10 interceptions, something nobody's done in like 30 plus years, and is only 1 away from the Dallas Cowboys record. So both of them are Pro Bowlers. Congratulations. Both of them first time being voted in. So, that's great news. On the offensive side, we have 2 players. Tyron Smith, who has actually missed 4 games, coming up to his 5th game. He is voted as a backup. Everybody else has been voted as a starter. And Zach Martin has been voted, of course, he's a perennial Pro Bowler, with the exception of last year. Has been voted in as well. And the final one is actually special teams punter Brian Aguilar. That's it. That's the list. Now, a few months back, or a few weeks, I can't remember. I do so many videos, I can't remember when it was. But I did a video and said that the Dallas Cowboys offense, led by Kellen Moore, will not make a lot of Pro Bowlers. The reason being is this offense has been so balanced. You don't have where you have one guy that gets the lion's share of the yardage and things. CeeDee Lamb's got quite a few, and you could argue and say maybe CeeDee Lamb could have been, but probably the game and a half that he missed hurt his numbers somewhat. And, of course, the 3 drops that he had this past week didn't help any either. And, of course, Cowboy fans evidently didn't vote too much. But the thing is some teams will have one guy who is the guy. Cooper Kupp, of course, is the guy. He's getting the lion's share and then some of the catches. And there's not a lot left for others. Well, the way that this offense works, though, is there's so many pieces to it. Now we got Michael Gallup back. He's taking some. You got Blake Jarwin when he wasn't injured. That was getting some. Of course, Dalton Schultz. You have CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. That all these guys are pretty much equally getting the ball distributed, which is great as far as winning, but not great if you're looking for the personal accolades. And the way I attribute this, in some regards, this is actually a good thing. One, when somebody like our quarterback gets dissed and they feel dissed and they're going to be like, okay, I'm going to show you how good I am. Sometimes it's a motivating factor. But I look back to the New England teams that were winning Super Bowls. And generally speaking, they would have like 4 or 5 guys that were Pro Bowlers. And that was it. And here it is, the Cowboys, we'd have like 10, 11 guys. And the difference is New England realized it's not about having, 7 or 8 great players. And then after you finish paying those guys, your talent level drops way off because there's no money left to pay guys that are role players. What they realized is those players at 20, 25, 30 on your roster, those guys need to be playing valuable minutes. And so it's not about just one guy. It's collectively as a team that ends up getting the job done. So looking around at this and thinking, who else deserves? On the defense, again, same type of an issue. I mean, you've got, of course, DeMarcus Lawrence, who didn't play most of the season because of a broken foot. So you look at that and say, yeah, But there's not anybody else in that defense that stands out to the point where you say, yeah, they should have been a Pro Bowler. Now, there was some thought of Anthony Brown possibly with the interceptions that he's had and so on. Cowboy fans want to push him off of a bridge and things, but not really. And you can look and say, on the opposite side, Dak Prescott should feel kind of snubbed here. I haven't seen the list of who actually is in as quarterbacks, but you've got Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady and things like that. So you have a lot of quarterbacks in the NFC, and I think it's only the top two that are voted in. So you kind of understand that. But if it ends up being that somebody like, let's say, Matthew Stafford gets voted in and not Dak Prescott, then you start saying, okay, we got screwed. This is nice to be able to say you're a Pro Bowler. But what I'm hoping that I see from my Cowboys is Super Bowl. At least a deep run in the playoffs. Pro Bowl, who actually watches it? I mean, we know it's going to be in Vegas this year. That might be an enticement for some of the players. But from the time they took it out of Hawaii, it's kind of like, who cares about the Pro Bowl? So with that being said, I've got more work I need to go do. And got to get that stuff done so we get that stuff out to you guys. And we'll be back later on with more news, of course, on the Dallas Cowboys. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you soon.